Hey, what's up, guys? Doing back here with another video. It's been a few weeks. How you guys doing? Hopefully I can get some videos out. Been inconsistent. I've only posted 3 videos, but it's summer. Back when I started the channel a few weeks ago, I was, having some well, not problems, but I had finals, so I was studying and stuff like that. So, anyway, what I'm here to talk about is the Derek Fisher being added to the coaching staff. Obviously, as the head coach of the Knicks. He was brought along today. Just announced a few hours ago, officially, with Steve Mills and Phil Jackson, and the big guys in the front office there. And my immediate thoughts are the biggest thing for me is honestly that Derek Fisher's gone from the NBA as a player. Something that people have been overlooking is that Derek Fisher's gone as a player. He's had a great career, played with Utah, with Jerry Sloan, and had a lot of success, of course, under Phil Jackson. He's the head coach of the Lakers. He won 5 championships there with Kobe and Shaq and all those guys in LA. Had a lot of great experiences there. And then he's been in Oklahoma City the past few years. Couldn't get it done, but he's contributed off the bench. He's definitely past his prime. He really couldn't contribute as much as he used to. He can still shoot, though. He can still shoot, which is one thing that everyone loves seeing, obviously, those great three-point shots that he can hit. So he's gone from the NBA, kind of sad. Never really officially announced his retirement, but obviously he's done. He's a coach now for at least 5 years, a 5-year, $25 million deal with the Lakers, the Knicks. And I think he can really bring success to the Knicks. Obviously, he's got a lot on his plate with the Carmelo Anthony thing and possibilities of bringing even bigger free agents in, like Kevin Love next year or Rajon Rondo this summer. Even guys like Kyle Lowry or Isaiah Thomas that really are, point guard position, obviously, that they need to fill. They've never, they had Raymond Felton, but he's really past his prime as well. And they need a leader on the court. Obviously, they have a leader on the sidelines, and Fisher now, a point guard even, but he's probably not going to suit up anytime soon to play point guard for the Knicks. So they need to fill that position, I think. Obviously, being New York, they have a big pocket. Of course, the salary cap kind of, hurts that a little bit. I'm not quite aware of their salary cap situation. Obviously, if they do re-sign Carmelo Anthony, which is something that Phil Jackson wants to do, and I'm assuming Fisher also, that's not, his decision, but that's Phil Jackson's. He wants him back. So they got to fill that position. The 3-point guards I mentioned, Isaiah Thomas, Kyle Lowry, and Rajon Rondo. Those are big money guys. Those are guys that are going to want a lot of money. I feel like Isaiah Thomas is a little more under the radar, just seeing that he was on the Kings and they weren't really successful. So I think that if they do decide to bring him in, then they'll have some leverage with that. But that's not an issue at all. I'm just kind of addressing what they need to do. But anyway, they definitely need to get good players. I forget who said it. It was someone on ESPN earlier. Maybe it was Herm Edwards or someone like that. But obviously it's more fun, and you're going to win more if you have good players. It's easier. It makes your job easier if you have good players. Like Phil Jackson, he had some of the best with Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Shaq, Scottie Pippen, all those guys, even Derek Fisher. It makes your job easier when you have good players around you. So they need to do a good job. Like I said earlier with Carmelo, that's Phil Jackson's really decision. The front office is really the guys with the money, and they sign the players. The coach just coaches them. But something they need to really bring to New York is a good relationship with the players and the staff all around. That was a problem with maybe Mark Jackson. They were looking at him. But the reason he got fired from the Warriors was obviously he had a great relationship with the players. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson especially built really good relationships with those guys, and it showed on the court. 2 of the best shooters in the NBA, probably the best shooting backcourt we've seen in a while, if not ever already, even though they've only been together a few years now. But that was a problem with them, with Mark Jackson. But I think they really need to build a good relationship with their players, and Oh, I didn't even mention why Mark Jackson got fired. I forgot, but he wasn't really communicating with the front office too much, and there was even times where he would go weeks at a time without talking to his assistant players, which you cannot do. Assistant players, man, my head's just out of the game right now. Assistant coaches, and you really can't do that. You have to have a good game plan. Obviously, they won games still. They won 50-something games, maybe 56. I don't quite remember, but they had success somehow after not really communicating. They just had good enough players, I guess. But they need to build a good relationship inside that organization. That's something that Phil Jackson was preaching ever since he stepped foot in New York, as a part of the organization. And Derek Fisher just off now. They want to build a good relationship with their players, and that can show on the court really how well they are comfortable there. The players. That's something that I think is big for Carmelo, because he really is the centerpiece that they like to build around. He's had trouble winning championships before, so considering he's never even got to the finals, even though he is a really incredible player, and he's had to carry the load for the Knicks ever since getting there. Last year was a little bit easier. They made it to the playoffs, second seed, but they couldn't get past the Pacers in the second round, and they got ousted in the second round in 6 games. So they need to really get some good pieces around him that can complement him as well as affect the game themselves with rebounding, passing, scoring, all the stuff, defense, everything you can do. And they need to make Melo their centerpiece, build around him, get a good coaching staff is another thing. Derek Fisher, Phil Jackson's probably going to leave it up to Fisher to build his coaching staff around him. Just get some guys in there he likes, he's comfortable with, maybe past coaches or people that he's worked with in the past, maybe former players as well. So I think it's big, all those points I just mentioned. For New York to have success, they've got a lot of work to do, but I think they can do it. They've got a good front office. They've got a good coach, and hopefully a good coaching staff. And just based off recent success, like I said, with Mark Jackson, Jason Kidd, who was in the same situation last year. He was a player that became a coach pretty much immediately for the crosstown rival Nets, and even Steve Kerr now. Those are 4 former point guards that have we don't know about Steve Kerr yet, but at least Mark Jackson and Jason Kidd had success as coaches, and it makes sense because being a point guard, you run the offense a lot, you run the floor, you know what to do, you know how to lead a team, and so being a former point guard really makes it easier to run a team than any other position, I think. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, see what kind of moves they make when the summer comes. When we get deeper in the summer, at least, with their picks in the draft, and see what they do in the draft and free agency as well. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.